Hey, all you do is show me your license, man.
No, I don't. I don't have to show you my license. What crime did I commit? What crime did I commit?
We're done here, brother.
Great. So 4 officers, all these resources for a crime that never got committed. And you learned something. Hey, man, you guys stay safe. Have a good day.
There's no shortage of police officers who, unfortunately, aren't fully aware of the laws they're supposed to enforce. And sometimes they run into the wrong person. In this video, we break down a traffic stop that took place in Ramona, California in August 2019, where a motorcyclist, who also happened to be an active duty Navy officer, ended up educating a state trooper on the very laws he claimed were being broken.
Man, you can't be passing on the right like that, dude. You want to split lanes, but you can't pass on the right.
Does it say that in the statute?
Statute of what?
For lane splitting, lane sharing.
Yeah, you can't pass on the right, bro. It's
okay. Does it say that in the lane sharing statute?
It all started when the officer pulled over a motorcyclist for passing the vehicles on the right in the very same lane. The rider immediately questions the legality of the stop.
I don't know what the lane sharing statute is.
So the rules governing.
There's not 2 lanes. So if there's 2 lanes, so let's just say.
I'm gonna reach for my phone. Don't get. Hey, come here for a second. This is the DMV website. California law does not allow or prohibit motorcycles from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane.
He even pulls up the California DMV website to make it clear to the officer, which clearly states, California law does not prohibit motorcycles from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane. This is commonly known as lane sharing, and based on the law, the rider did nothing wrong.
Within the same lane has nothing to do with 2 lanes. I was within the same lane. I wasn't past the white line.
All right, I'm not gonna argue, man. Can you read that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. Well, here, you read it right there. California law does not allow or prohibit, that means I'm allowed to do it, from passing other vehicles proceeding in the same direction within the same lane. A practice often called lane splitting, lane sharing, or filtering.
Your license, registration, insurance.
Okay, what is your cause for pulling me over and asking for my information?
Man, unsafe passing within the lane, dude.
No, I'm just showing you the law.
Bro, listen to me. I'm not here to argue with you. I just need your license, registration, insurance, okay?
Okay, and I'm asking you for what purpose?
I just told you, because you're passing vehicles within the same lane on the right.
Despite being shown the law in black and white, the officer refuses to admit he's made a mistake. Instead, he continues demanding the rider's license and registration without citing a clear violation.
I'm not here to argue with you. I just need your license, registration, insurance, okay?
Okay, and I'm asking you for what purpose?
I just told you, because you're passing vehicles within the same lane on the right.
That's allowed.
Safe passing on the right. I'm not talking about lane splitting. You're not splitting lanes. You're passing vehicles on the right.
Okay. In order for you to ask me for that information, I have to have broken the law, correct?
Correct.
Ryder again told the officer that in order to ask him for that information, he must have to have broken the law. And the trooper also acknowledged it by saying correct.
I have this on tape. Show me where I passed unsafely.
I will. Let me see your license, registration, and...
So again, what law did I break?
Let me explain it to you, okay?
You're going to explain it different than the law.
You know the law.
No, I can read English.
Okay. All right, well, I can too. So let me explain my interpretation of lane splitting.
Okay, your interpretation as opposed to facts.
Okay. Facts, lanes, whatever you want to call it, man. Let me explain to you what I consider lane splitting. If you've got 2 lanes or more, all right?
Which doesn't say here, right?
If you've got 2 lanes or more, okay, in one direction, and you go in between the lanes, whether you're in the lane to the right or...
Even after acknowledging that he isn't sure what the lane sharing statute says, the trooper insists the stop is valid, based solely on his interpretation.
Right? And where you're wrong, okay, that's your interpretation of it. That's not what the black and white says. And now look, take your glasses off and I'm gonna get off my bike. Is that all right? Within the same lane. It has nothing to do with 2 lanes.
Lane splitting though. We're not talking about lane splitting here.
Hey, I'm talking about what the law says.
But you're looking at this as lane splitting. There's no 2 lanes to split, my man. You understand that? There are no 2 lanes to be splitting here.
Okay, so show me right there where it says it has to be 2 lanes.
Bro, Are you splitting lanes?
I'm sharing. Hold on.
Sharing the lane.
Yes, look, right there as it says, lane sharing.
Right.
Sharing.
While you're splitting lanes.
No.
Bro, you're looking at the DMV web. There's vehicle code. Okay.
Okay.
There's vehicle code. Let me look it up and I'll explain it to you better.
Okay.
How's that sound, man?
All right.
Rather than letting it go, the officer doubles down. He calls in a sergeant for backup and continues insisting the stop was justified.
Not your interpretation of it. If you need to get a sergeant or somebody else here, do so. I'll gladly hand you my information. Here's some more clarification for you, okay? Sorry, I didn't mean to touch it. All right, AB 51, into law, which define lane splitting as driving a motorcycle as two wheels in contact with the ground between rows of stopped or moving vehicles in the same lane.
But the rider holds his ground, calmly and respectfully citing California AB 51, related to the California Vehicle Code, which focuses on lane splitting for motorcycles. Specifically, it defines lane splitting, allows motorcycles to drive between rows of stopped or moving vehicles in the same lane under certain conditions, speed limit and speed differential, and authorizes the California Highway Patrol to develop educational guidelines for lane splitting.
Doesn't matter. I can be in the same lane as long as did you see me over the white line at all?
On the shoulder, no.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
Notably, the rider never crossed into another lane or used the shoulder. Still, no citation, no crime. Just an officer whose ego couldn't handle being wrong.
So, dude, I'm reading the vehicle code.
Hold on. Yep. AB 51, which
I'm reading the vehicle code, man. So, first of all, before we even get there, man, my intention of stopping you was because it was for safety issues, right? I mean, you're passing cars on the right. If a vehicle had to slam on the brakes and turn right and they hit you, whatever. Just like you're splitting lanes. But reading the law, it is not clearly stated as far as whether or not you could be passing on the right in one lane or two. All right, so I just called my supervisor.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, dude, I don't know anything about that because I never write it because it's not clearly written in law.
Sure.
Eventually, after consulting his sergeant and reviewing the statute, the trooper acknowledges that the law isn't clearly written. Still, he continues trying to justify the stop, not with the law, but with his opinion on what's safe.
Well, it's not.
No, except it is.
Well, except it doesn't clarify whether or not you're allowed to pass. Well, it says in the same lane, but lane splitting. Well, just hear me out.
Go ahead.
Lane splitting in my interpretation, okay? Lane splitting is you got two or more lanes in the same direction, and you're going in between the lanes, right? But the law says within two or more rows of traffic in the same lane.
For you to ask me for my ID, I have to have committed a crime, correct? You can't just walk up. Hold on. Let's answer this right. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, give me your ID, right? We don't live in a police state. You guys are meant to enforce the law.
Okay.
So I have to have committed a crime in order for you to give me your ID, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the first thing. That's
Okay.
why I'm arguing. I don't want to argue with you about, whether I have to give you my ID, because I know I don't have to. So and I'm going to use this term because that's what it is, and it's not a negative infliction upon you or anybody else. There's a difference between stupidity and ignorance. I'm ignorant of a great many things. I'm not